And now, Legal Perspective with Nick Klekus.
The Department of Justice is suing 6 of the nation's largest landlords, claiming they used a rent-setting algorithm to unfairly drive up prices for millions of Americans. Here with what renters need to know is Nick Klekus, owner of Klekus Law Firm. Nick, obviously supply and demand has played into these landlords' favor, right? There's more people renting, interest rates are so high. How much leverage does that give these landlords when they're setting a price for rent?
Absolute.
All leverage. They can
Absolutely.
kind of do whatever they want to do.
And that's why the DOJ has stepped in. This is like an antitrust case. It's like a monopoly taking advantage of the little guy.
So what is the DOJ exactly accusing these landlords of doing?
So what they're doing, it started with a ProPublica investigation in 2022 against RealPage using this algorithm of private information, such as what other landlords are charging. They call them doors. How many doors does each landlord control, and how much are they charging per square foot? And they started putting all that information together and sharing that with these big landlords that control millions of doors, and saying, well, you're not charging enough, or you should charge more. And even just a 14% increase added $100 a month to each door, translated into billions of dollars for these landlords through this private information run through RealPage algorithm. And DOJ says that's illegal.
So how does using that rent setting algorithm cross into illegal territory? What makes it illegal?
So it's just like insider trading with stock options. You know, you own Apple, I own Microsoft, and if I call you and say, hey, you know, we're coming out with a new phone and it's going to be killer, you should buy my stock. Well, that's what they're doing. They started getting these landlords together in a private chat group and had them all sharing, Greystar being one of them out of South Carolina, and they control millions of doors. What are you charging? Should we raise rents? And then if everybody across the board is doing it, then where does John Q. Public go to rent if everybody's almost at the same rate, artificially increased because of supply and demand? It's illegal.
Yeah. Take this situation out of it. You know, in a normal case, how do these big landlords that control, you know, more than a million doors, how do they typically arrive at their rental pricing? Do they usually talk amongst each other, or?
Well, my understanding is not until this kind of hit the airwaves. They all have management software that they use to determine supply and demand. What are our vacancies doing? Do we, you know, are we fully occupied? Let's raise rent. Are we, you know, suffering from vacancies? We need to lower rent. So, you know, they have those management softwares. What's illegal here is that when everybody's doing the same thing, then everybody suffers except for the big guys that are making profits.
So this is considered price fixing?
Correct.
Okay. And if this lawsuit were to continue, how will this be handled under the law?
You know, white collar crime, I seriously doubt anybody from Greystar is going to jail. I think they'll probably just be fined. They'll probably be required to do some reporting things. Same thing with insider trading. If, you know, the SEC finds that somebody's guilty of insider trading, they have certain requirements under, you know, their guidelines that they have to report and not do it anymore.
Yeah. Is there a possibility that, you know, we could see any money come back into the hands of renters?
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I doubt it. I think the DOJ will fine them, and I think they keep the money. If you had a private lawyer sue, let's say a class action, then that would trickle back down, but it's always pennies on the dollar. I mean, if they get millions from these landlords, the average person would only end up with a very little amount.
Is there anything that the average renter can do to maybe during a rental negotiation? Do we have any power or any say in this?
I don't really think so. I think if you think you're getting taken advantage of, you're renting from Greystar and your rent goes up $800, that you know, call Alan Wilson, our Attorney General in South Carolina, and say, hey, what's going on here? Contact the Better Business Bureau and say that I feel like I'm taken advantage of. You know, you can bash them, public media and whatnot, but you know, it's really you doing your due diligence to find what the best deal is for you.
And of course, if you have any questions, you can run it by Nick Klekus, 843-900000000. Klekus.com is where you can go. Nick, thank you for being here. Always a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
We're back after this.
This has been Legal Perspective with Nick Kleekus.